Hey everybody, this is Tracy here with another edition of A View from Tracy's Point. And I hope everyone had a beautiful Valentine's Day. And if nobody told you that they love you today and that you are special to them, let me be the first. You are special to me because you are tuning in to my channel. So I was in the process of preparing my weekend review video that I was hoping to do at the end of the week. But this Valentine's Day was jumping. If you haven't heard yet, Michael Avenatti, he's like the slime ball lawyer. So he came out today and says that he has uncovered a sex video of R. Kelly and a 14-year-old girl, and he's turned it over to the Chicago police, or the Chicago district attorney, and they are reviewing the video, and that charges or an indictment against R. Kelly is pending. And then we had Jussie Smollett, who was on Good Morning America, defending himself and, saying how upset and outraged he is that people don't believe him about that whole being assaulted, the racist, homophobic assault that he experienced back in January. But before we get to those stories, I have two little short stories that I want to talk to you about. One is Cardi B. You guys know that Cardi B won a Grammy on Sunday night. And she was the first female hip-hop artist to win Album of the Year, Hip-Hop Album of the Year. And so Cardi was very excited, very happy.
I want to keep on saying thank you so much, everybody. Thank you, Bardigan, because y'all love me through the good and the bad and the fake and the lies. I want to say thank you, everybody. This shit is crazy. Every award to me is special to me, though. From Grammys, AMAs, Billboards, BET, Soul Train, Nickelodeon, awards that I get from in another motherfucking country. I don't give a fuck. Every award, my nigga, goes to my mother's house, and every award to her is just as special, and it's just as special to me. And I am so thankful. I'm so grateful, my nigga. I'm thankful for everybody that works with me. I'm thankful for all my friends that be texting me sometimes just for nothing. For my music team, for everybody, my family. I want to thank God, my nigga.
Amen.
Thank you, God, for always being there for me. Thank you for covering me with the blood of your son. Oh, my God! Thank God. Thank my family. My mom's side of the family. My dad's side of the family. Thank you, everybody. And you want to know something? I read an article that Mac Meta family said that if he don't win, they want me to win. So I'm sharing this Grammy with you, motherfucker. Rest in peace. And thank you, everybody. Bronze up. Have the
She really was like the highlight of the night. She showed up in this this culture, I guess they call it couture, no, they call it couture. So she showed up in this couture gown. And a lot of the things that she wore, because she showed up in a gown, she had another gown on when she was sitting in the audience. Then she had the outfit that she performed in. And so there were some comparisons to other couture fashions over the years or the decades. And so she was really, her publicists and her PR people are on it. They made sure that she stood out, that people were looking at her. And then she did a performance. The performance was amazing. And except for the, hunching on the ground and spreading her legs open, because I was telling somebody, like, I done seen between Cardi legs so much that now I'm starting to wonder, like, what type of feminine products do she use? Do she use Summer's Eve? Do it smell like fruit? Like, what is going on? Because every time I turn around, them legs going open, and I'm like, at some point, she's going to have to show growth in her career, and that she's better than that and moving above that. So Cardi went on a rant the following day after the Grammys and shut down her social media, and she was upset because people were talking about her, and I'm like, girl, you really need to get delivered from people because people are going to talk. People have opinions. Not everybody is going to like you, and she's got to learn to deal with that. And so I'm going to drop that video that she deleted and then shut down her Instagram.
You know what? It's not my style for people to put other people down to uplift somebody else. That's not my style, and that's not what I'm with, and I don't support that. However, I've been taking a lot of shit today. I'm seeing a lot of bullshit today, and I saw a lot of shit last night, and I'm sick of this shit. I worked hard for my motherfucking album. I remember last year when I didn't want for Bodak Yellow, everybody was like, Cardi got snubbed, Cardi would have got snubbed. Now this year's a fucking problem. My album went 2-time platinum, my nigga. And every chart that there was, my album was always top 10. #1 album as well. I fucking worked my ass off, locked myself in the studio for 3 months, my nigga. Then went to sleep in my own bed, sometimes for 4 days straight. Pregnant. Some songs couldn't even get on the fucking album because my nose was so fucking stuffy from my pregnancy. Niggas couldn't sleep. Niggas couldn't do shit. While everybody was harassing me like, you're not gonna do it. We know you pregnant. Your career's over. That shit dwelling in my fucking mind while I'm...
So also dealing with the Grammys was earlier in that day, I think it was Monday, Nicki Minaj canceled her appearance at the BET Experience concert this summer where she was set to co-headline with Cardi B. And so she got upset because BET made a tweet that was basically making fun of Nicki Minaj and talking about her lace front wig and just essentially saying that Nicki Minaj was upset and jealous of Cardi B winning the Grammy, and that, you know, she's probably sitting at home, you know, reacting to the win. And so her post about, you know, stepping down from the BET Experience followed a post that Ariana Grande made, and where she was criticizing the Grammys producer Ken Ehrlich, saying that he had bullied her in the past. And so a lot was going on that was sort of kind of taking the shine away from Cardi B and her great night. But then Cardi B came back, so she was on Twitter, and she says that she's dropping a new single Friday night at midnight. So watch out. So I don't know if the whole thing was a publicity stunt, her getting angry and upset and putting out this video. But anyway, kudos and good luck, Cardi B. And my next story was going to be about Bill Cosby. Remember in the last weekend review video that I did earlier this week, I actually talked about Bill Cosby, and he had given condolences to the family of Christoph St. John. And I was like, who's running Bill Cosby's social media? Well, I think I know who it is now. It's either Camille or it is Andrew Wyatt, who is his annoying publicist. If you follow the Bill Cosby trial, then you know who Andrew Wyatt is. And so Andrew Wyatt did an interview with NBC, with the NBC affiliate in Philadelphia. And so it was like broken up into several parts, and I watched it, but I couldn't tell like if it was an extended video that I could find online somewhere. I wasn't able to locate it, but basically each night, starting Monday, I believe it was, they did like a short segment on the evening news where they showed like a snippet of this interview that he was doing. And he basically was talking about Bill Cosby, saying, you know, he's doing well, he's holding up in prison, he's getting acclimated, you know, to what's going on. And earlier it was reported that since Bill Cosby went to prison, he had been in a single cell across the hallway from the infirmary. But now they have moved him into general population, and so I guess he's in a cell with multiple people. And so in this video, the Andrew Wyatt guy was just basically taking us through a day in the life of Bill Cosby. Then they had one where him and the reporter were actually going to the prison as if the reporter was actually going to go in and meet with Bill Cosby. But then we later learned that the cameras are not allowed in the prison, so the camera crew couldn't go in. And then it doesn't appear that Bill Cosby had ever agreed to sit down and talk to this woman, because I'm thinking if that was the case, she could have went in if she was on the visitors list, and they could have did like an interview, a print interview, where she came back and reported on it. But it doesn't appear that he ever intended for her to come in. There's been some talk, you know, that, well, actually he said it in the video that no one has been to visit Bill Cosby except for him and Bill Cosby's attorney. And then he, you know, the blogs were running with that story saying how awful it was. You know, Camille has abandoned him, his family has abandoned him. But according to Andrew Wyatt, that is not the case, that it was Bill Cosby's decision, that he did not want any of his family, friends, or associates to see him in prison. He doesn't want them to come. And if you know anything about the prison system, you can't just show up. They have to put you on the visitors list. And then once they say, you know, I want these people on my visitors list, then you have to fill out paperwork. They do a little check on you, make sure you don't have any felonies or anything like that. So even if they wanted to come, if he doesn't want them there, he won't put them on the visitors list. So then it came out, you know, people are upset after watching this little, whatever it was, this interview. They're upset because they're saying that Bill Cosby hasn't shown any remorse. And I am of the belief that if I'm sitting there telling you I didn't do what you're accusing me of doing, even if a jury finds me guilty of doing it, if I'm saying to you I didn't do it, then what do I need to be remorseful for? Why do I need to show remorse if I really believe I didn't do it? Then today on the Bill Cosby page on Twitter, they posted in response to Sharon Osbourne's comments on the talk, Andrew Wyatt emphasizes that Bill Cosby never admitted in his deposition testimony or anywhere else to any non-consensual sexual contact with any woman and or the drugging of anyone. He has never admitted to spiking drinks. And then they posted like a little screenshot of the part of the deposition that where he answered the questions, and he did say that yes, he did use drugs, you know, for sex, but no, he never did it without anyone's knowledge. And so I'll drop that right here. So in his first public statement from prison, Bill Cosby said that he will never have remorse for the crimes he was convicted of and called himself a political prisoner. So it was like, now Bill, you're taking it too far, and they're going to be trying to call you crazy now. So he says that my political beliefs, my actions of trying to humanize all races, genders, and religions landed me in this place surrounded by barbed wire fencing and a room made of steel and iron. Bill Cosby is 81 years old, and he's serving a sentence of 3 to 10 years. They say that that his quarters resemble the quarters of some of the greatest political prisoners. Martin Luther King Jr., Mahatma Gandhi, Nelson Mandela, Randall Robinson, and Dr. Benjamin Chavis. I can't go with Bill on this one. So Cosby's statement was made public Wednesday after Wyatt spoke with WCAU in Philadelphia for a TV interview and revealed new details about the comedian's time behind bars. So Cosby was recently moved to the prison's general population after spending his first few months behind bars in a single cell. So Wyatt and Cosby's attorneys have been visiting the comedian in prison. They've seen Cosby smiling and taking the time to develop new projects. Wyatt said in the NBC 10 interview. So basically Bill said that he's working on some documentaries, he's writing a book, and he's writing some TV shows, which I don't have a problem with, because you got to do something to keep your mind fresh. Like, you don't want to just sit in there and rot away. And so I think I mentioned in another video, like, look at Martha Stewart. You know, she did her time behind bars and she came back refreshed and, picked up where she left off with her business, got that show with Snoop Dogg. So maybe Bill Cosby can come out and produce this documentary. So Wyatt says, when I visit him, it's nothing sad about it. He's not sad. He's not remorseful because he did nothing wrong. And then he also said something about Bill Cosby said that it was amazing, because he's like the time that he's spending with the other inmates are amazing. And, he's talking to them and helping them. And so, like I said, whatever helps you pass the time. And so Wyatt says that the sheer volume of people coming forward, making an accusation doesn't mean that it's true. And I think he said that when the lady said, well, it was 50 people that were accusing him of the same thing. And so he was like, and what America has said is that women don't lie, but women do lie. And so it was a black lady that was interviewing me. She was like, oh my God. So in his statement, Cosby agreed with Wyatt's comments and argued that he was convicted even after authorities decided not to press charges against him in 2005. And when he reached a multi-million-dollar settlement for a civil lawsuit filed by Andrea Constand, one of the dozens of women who have publicly accused the comedian of sexual assault. And so he believes it was the political aspirations of the district attorney and the judge that landed him in prison. And that's probably true because I think the district attorney, was running for re-election. And that was like one of the things that he promised to people that he was going to do was that he was going to get Bill Cosby convicted. And personally, I think that if a person settles in a civil lawsuit, like if they take money, then they shouldn't be able to come back and then say they want to press charges. Like, I think they should be prohibited from doing that, but that's just my personal opinion. So now let's move over to Jussie, y'all. Jussie was on Good Morning America being interviewed by Robin Roberts. Jussie looked like he hadn't been sleeping well. His eyes looked real puffy and everything. But he's standing firm in his statement that he was assaulted. Jussie tried to pull the race card, saying that if he was Muslim or black, if the what did he say? If the attackers were black, Muslim, or something else, it would be a totally different story. That he believes that there would be totally different results. But Jussie was saying some stuff, and I was like, okay. Like, one thing he said was that he kept his clothes on and the rope around his neck so that when the police got there, they could see, like everything would have been untouched or unsoiled or whatever. But I thought this was a contradiction because at one point I thought he didn't want to call the police. He was against calling the police, and that his agent or manager or whoever this person was, the Moore guy, that he went behind his back and called the police and said to the police, I'm calling because I think this needs to be reported, but he doesn't want it. So now he's saying that he didn't change, he didn't take the clothes off because he didn't want to, tamper with the evidence. But I'm just thinking, if I didn't want to call the police, first of all, I would have took that rope from around my neck out there on the street. Oh, and then this was another thing that I'm going to get to later is the proximity of everything. Like, I know I hadn't seen anything that was saying, like, how far is all this stuff? Well, it seems like it may have been, I don't know how city blocks run in Chicago, but I know here, so the street I live on, we have numbered streets. So say I live on street number 1, then I could go to street number 2, 3, 4, or there could be a big jump because there's something on a big parcel of land. So I might go from street 1 to street 4 or street 10 or something like that. So I don't know how big this city block was, but basically the Lowe's, I guess it's like a hotel and then condos mixed together. So it was on one street corner. That's where Jussie was. And then he went down the street and around the corner, and he was going to either a Walgreens or a Walmart, whichever one it was closed. And then after he realized the store was closed, he decided to walk on over to the Subway and get this sandwich. And then he said that he called his manager And I swear the boy said his manager was in Australia. So I guess it's like two different people that we're dealing with. So he was on the phone with one person that was in Australia, and then the other person was back at the apartment. I was just like, Jussie, you confusing me every time you talk. And so basically he went to the subway, and then it's unclear if he went back the same way he came or if he just completed the block and came around, because evidently wherever he was supposedly mugged at or, you know, attacked at, so if the condo is on this corner, then there's a street, and then there's another hotel, and there's a stairwell or something that I guess a lot of homeless people or, you know, whatever, people be hanging out in the stairwell. And that's where they claim that they found that, remember I told you they said they found the hot sauce bottle and it had a stench of bleach in it. Well, now I'm thinking that it probably was the stench of urine because they were saying like there'd be people hanging out in the stairwell selling drugs or whatever. And so you got Jussie's building here. He's over here in the stairwell. And then the picture that the police, the two people of interest was on across the other street from the hotel. And so just really confusing. But anyway, Jussie was saying that, you know, the guys approached him and they said, oh, you're that, you know, guy from Empire. They yelled, you know, the derogatory terms at him. He said then one of the guys punched him in the face, and then he hit the guy back. So they were tussling. Then the second guy came and started kicking him in the back. And then they put the noose around his neck, and then they poured the bleach on him. And I'm like, Justin, that was a whole lot going on. But evidently they were the only 3 people on the street that night, because remember, it was like below 0 temperatures. Then the bleach was on the shirt. So I'm trying to figure out, like, did he go out in the cold? Like, did he run downstairs because I don't know what Jussie was doing because it was so cold outside. Like, why would he have had a jacket on, a scarf around his neck, you know, something on his head to protect him from the elements? But he claims that he had scarring on his neck from the rope that they put around his neck. And it just seemed like it was a whole lot going on. So according to police, it was the rope was like a clothesline, which I said, you know, in another video that it sounded to me that it was like a clothesline piece of rope, which is that thin white rope. And so they said that it seemed to have come straight out of the package, like it was brand new and somebody, you know, he had just bought it. And this guy I'm going to tell you all about, his name is Rich Singh, S-E-N-G, and I'm going to put a link to his video in this video so you guys can go check out what he was saying. But he said that, so around that corner, so the Walgreens or Walmart, then you go to the next intersection, you turn left, there's the subway, then he comes back out, then he comes back up the street, and so he could have came back the way he did, or if he had continued straight, that there's a Target there. And so I don't know if they're trying to imply that maybe Jussie went in there and bought this rope from the Target, and maybe that's the implication. And then Jussie says that he didn't turn over his phone to the police because he didn't want them going through his phone. He had pictures in there, he had phone numbers of, you know, people, you know, famous people, his partner. So that's why he didn't want to turn over the phone. And I can understand that because police ain't getting my phone. Like, I would throw my phone into the river before I gave my phone to the police. And I don't even have anything in my phone. I probably got 2 or 3 pictures in there, and they probably are the water or a duck or something that I saw that I thought was really cute. And so then he says that that wherever he was attacked at, that there's a traffic light on a pole or something. And so he was like all excited and told the police, oh, well, you know, you can check the video from that traffic light, because I guess they have those video cameras on all the traffic lights like they do everywhere. But then it turned out that the video was turned in the opposite direction. And so it didn't show the attack, but instead it showed those 2 people that are the persons of interest, but they were like coming towards him, not running away from him. And also people were saying that And that also lined up with what people on social media were saying, because I'm sure, you know, people are leaking things. And they were saying that the two people were on the opposite side of the street walking towards Jussie, and that they were captured on the video 20 to 30 minutes prior to when he claims that the attack happened. So that seems to be turning out to be true. Oh, so this guy, Rich Singh, he had dropped a link to his YouTube video in the comments, because you guys know I follow Rob Elgis with ABC7 Chicago. So he dropped this video in there. So this guy has created, he's drawn a map of the area. He's gone down to the area and pointed out where all of the security cameras are located. You know, he points out, you know, the different places where, you know, Jussie was staying. Then there was a lady that came out that I gave you guys what she said in my last video, where she worked at this pub that was like a block in the opposite direction from where Jussie was attacked, and where the hotel or apartment complex is that he lives in. And so that person was saying that the two people of interest actually came all the way down to, you know, the corner where the pub is, and then they turned and went in the opposite direction, but that those people were not running or in any kind of haste or anything. They were just walking down the street. And so they were picked up in the pub's security footage and video. And so that's why they're thinking that these people had nothing to do with it. And so this guy, like I said, he drew this map of the area. He shows where everything is. He's showing all the cameras. And then in his video, he shares this video that came out about a year ago that Carlson Tucker from Fox News had did this story on Google, and how Google is spying on all of us. And so he was basically saying that with all this technology and how they can trace our every move, they can tell if we're walking, if we're in a car, you know, if we go into a building, if we come out of the building, like all this stuff is being pinged on our phone, and Google is creating records of all this stuff. And so he actually shows the video report from that Fox News special that they did, or, you know, little piece that they did. And he says that there is no way that the Chicago police cannot know what happened that night, because it was just too many cameras and it's too much technology out there for them not to know. And then I thought it was interesting that as the Good Morning America interview was going on or had just wrapped up, that the Chicago police came out and said that they had talked to, because Jussie said in the interview that he knows without a doubt that the people that were in, those two people that were in that picture that the police put out, are the people that attacked him. And even though he didn't see their face or anything, when they were running away, he looked at them and that he could see their stature. So he knows that, you know, based on the height differences and the weight and everything, that they were definitely the two people. So shortly after he said that, the Chicago police comes out with a statement saying, oh, we done talked to them people, and we don't think they know anything about this crime. They didn't see anything. And so I was like, oh my God. But then this was quite interesting. So here are Rob's tweets from this morning. So he says, at ABC7 Chicago has confirmed the persons of interest in the Jussie Smollett case were picked up at O'Hare Airport last night. But then that turned out not to be true. And I'll tell you why once I finish reading his tweets. ABC7 exclusive, my colleague at BABICH ABC7 has confirmed Chicago police are talking to two people of interest in the Jussie Smollett case. They cannot confirm their identities at this time. And I'm laughing for a reason. So at ABC, also confirming police talking to two persons of interest. Police use technology to track the movements of the two individuals using cameras, public transportation records, and corroborating information provided by Smollett. Chicago police say the two persons of interest have not been charged with a crime and there is no evidence they're involved in the physical attack. And then it says, quote, "We know who they are and have brought them in for questioning," end quote, a Chicago Police Department spokesman said. So then at 9 o'clock a.m. Pacific time, TMZ done decide to get into the action. So it says, cops say they have identified two, quote, persons of interest, end quote, and have questioned them, but add there is no evidence they were involved in Jussie's attack. Neither has been charged with a crime. And while the police department won't confirm the persons of interest are the ones in the dark, grainy image, the ones Jussie says he sure attacked him, our law enforcement sources say the people in the image are the only people who were seen on camera that night other than Jussie Smollett. So then TMZ goes on to say Jussie Smollett is being questioned again by Chicago Police Department, and officers are also talking to another man, an actor who has also appeared on Empire, TMZ has learned. So the person, so it says sources connected to the case tell us the actor, not Jussie, was picked up by the Chicago Police Department Wednesday night after he flew into O'Hare Airport. We're told Jussie was brought in Thursday morning for additional questioning. Another man who was with the actor at O'Hare was also taken in for questioning. So what do you guys think about that? Like, who do you think are the two people that they picked up? Do y'all think it's Jamal and the crazy brother? That brother named the fine one that's got the bipolar. Do y'all think it's them? Do y'all think, because y'all know Taraji P. Henson and Terrence Howard, they've been like kind of quiet on this whole situation. So it's going to be interesting to find out who these two people are that they have taken in and questioned about the night of these events. Okay, I knew as soon as I finished doing this video and started uploading it that a update will come out on one of these stories. So here is the update, the latest that is being reported about Jussie Smollett. This is coming from Love B. Scott and ABC 7 Chicago. And so Jussie Smollett reportedly faked his attack according to local media sources. ABC 7 Chicago is now reporting that the two men police have taken in for questioning allegedly staged the attack with Jussie, all because Jussie's character was being written off the show. A source familiar with the investigation told the ABC 7i team that Jussie failed to appear for an interview with detectives earlier Thursday. Then this is from Rob Elgis. Breaking, multiple sources tell ABC 7 Chicago Eyewitness News Jussie Smollett and the two men who are being questioned by police staged the attack allegedly because his character was being written out of the show Empire. And then Brad Edwards with says TV Brad at CBS Chicago. Top source, we investigators believe the non-cooperating two witnesses are co-conspirators in potentially staged attack against Jussie Smollett. A Hollywood Reporter, Chicago media outlets are reporting that persons of interest in the Jussie Smollett case may have been involved in staging the Empire star's attack. Jussie Smollett attack investigated as possible setup. So this story is continuing to develop, but so let's just stay tuned. You guys know if I learn anything, I'll actually come back and post it in the comment section and pin it to the top of this video. I'm not going to come back again and do another video, but basically they are saying that it was a hoax, that it was staged because Jussie didn't want to lose his spot on Empire. Why are you trying to kill off Jussie? I think they would have killed off My God, what is the crazy brother named Andre? I thought they would have gotten rid of Andre because after the first season, Andre didn't even want to be on the show anymore. And then his role really hasn't been that interesting since his wife was killed off the show. And now the other chick that had the baby, you know, that killed the wife, is it Amika? Like, she hasn't really been Anika, she hasn't really been doing anything on the show. So they could have killed one of them off. So I don't know, guys. We'll see where this goes. Okay, so now on to the R. Kelly story. Now this, I think one thing that really has interested me about this whole story is that I don't know if people haven't picked up on the story yet on social media. If people are like in shock, like I was in shock when the story came out, or if they're just not believing the story because the Michael Avenatti guy is involved. If they just want to wait and see. But today, Twitter and Facebook was kind of quiet, eerily quiet, at least on my timeline. And I know when that docuseries was going on, my timeline was flooded with R. Kelly stuff on all my social media. But today it was relatively quiet. And I don't even know how I came across, I think I have a friend on Facebook who's a reporter out of Dallas, and she posted the story. And so she was the only person I saw on Facebook that posted this story. So then I went to Twitter and I put in R. Kelly in Twitter to see if anybody over there was talking about it. And then that's when the Michael Avenatti post picked up. But anyway, let's go ahead and get into this. So prosecutors investigating R. Kelly are looking into a newly surfaced video featuring the R&B superstar lawyer Michael Avenatti, told CNN. So CNN has seen the VHS tape. That's right, VHS, so we know it's an old tape that appears to show Kelly having sex with a girl who refers to her body parts as 14 years old. So Avenatti, who is representing a man he calls a whistleblower against Kelly, says he handed the tape over to the Cook County State's Attorney's Office in Chicago last weekend. So I don't know if that was the 9th or 10th or if it was the week before that. So according to Avenatti, my client knows the identity of the girl and R. Kelly. He identified the two of them on the videotape. He worked for and has known R. Kelly for decades, and he met the girl on a number of occasions. So on Thursday, Avenatti tweeted out a statement describing the tape. And let me read that for you guys. Statement by Michael Avenatti regarding Robert Kelly investigation and newly uncovered video evidence. Approximately 10 months ago, in April 2018, my office was retained by multiple clients in connection with allegations of sexual assault of minors by musical artist Robert Kelly, in parentheses, R. Kelly. Following our retention, we proceeded to thoroughly and quietly investigate the allegations through witness interviews and the examination of documents / evidence throughout the United States. Due to the importance of ensuring justice is finally done in this matter, and because we are deeply concerned that Mr. Kelly has not been held accountable for his sexual abuse of young African American girls, whom are especially vulnerable, we have done so on a pro bono basis. Importantly, it is now resulted in the discovery of significant new evidence conclusively establishing Mr. Kelly's illegal sexual assault of young girls. Included in the evidence we recently uncovered and recovered is a VHS videotape of Mr. Kelly engaging in multiple sexual assaults of a girl underage. This tape, which is clear, is approximately 45 minutes in length and has never previously been publicly disclosed or until recently provided to law enforcement. Importantly, this conclusive video evidence is not the same evidence previously seen and used in connection with the prior criminal matter in which Mr. Kelly was charged, nor does it depict the same instances of sexual assault. Further, the time frame of the sexual assaults depicted in the video is within the Illinois statute of limitations. As part of our effort to ensure that Mr. Kelly is finally held accountable for his repeated sexual assaults of minors spanning over 2 decades, we have provided extensive information, including the videotape described above and witnesses, to Cook County State's Attorney Kim Foxx in Chicago. Ms. Foxx is an exceptional, dedicated prosecutor, and she is personally committed to investigating the matter fully. We have full confidence in her abilities as well as those of her office. We expect to continue to cooperate with her and her colleagues as the investigation continues. Our work has been painstaking, detailed, expensive, and time-consuming. Mr. Kelly is a predator and a criminal who has preyed on young, vulnerable girls for far too long. The time has come for him to finally be held accountable for his actions. So on CNN, there was a report. They had someone come on, and the reporter says that she watched the video. That I don't understand this watching video. Seems to me like he should have taken the video, turned it in to the prosecutor. Like, why are you giving it to news stations, you know, to sensationalize everything? Why not let the prosecutor do her job and do her due diligence? And because I'm sure they're going to have to like authenticate this video, make sure it hasn't been tampered with. Who has had this video for 20-something years? Because it did come out that the video was recorded in the 90s at some point. I'm thinking probably around the same time as the other video was done, which leads me to ask once again, where was Andrea Kelly when all of this was going on? And then you guys remember I mentioned in the last video, you know, where I was just doing my updates, like, it's been eerily quiet. Like everybody has gone silent in the past week. And so now we know why. Because they were all in on whatever it is that this Michael Avenatti guy was doing. And this is why they've all have stepped away from the media and, you know, gotten off of YouTube, gotten off of calling YouTubers, giving information and all this stuff. And then I was wondering because the one guy who said that he was the road manager, and he was on that video with the girl Nick at Night that I shared with you all. I'm not sure if he's the one that's cooperating with them, or maybe it's the guy. Remember on the docuseries, there was actually a guy who didn't show his face. He was sharing his information, talking anonymously. So maybe he's the guy. And then I think when they were talking about the original video, they were saying that the videos had been stolen, and then they were trying to blackmail, I think it was the Lisa Van Allen girl. And so, you know, that's how he got, R. Kelly got involved in paying this money to get the videos back. And then I saw a tweet where somebody was saying that there's like 40 to 60 videos that were in a bag, and that bag was taken. So like, is there like a whole bunch of videos out there, or does the one person have all who took the videos like still have that one bag of video and have just been holding on to it for the right moment? And so of course, you know, they go to Steve Greenberg, who I just cannot believe is anybody's attorney, but he keeps showing up saying that he's R. Kelly's attorney. So his response was, "We are unaware of any new information involving Mr. Kelly. We have not been contacted by anyone. We have not been informed about any new information by anyone, and we have not been contacted by law enforcement." So then Tandra R. Simonton, Chief Communications Officer for the State Attorney's Office, said, quote, "We cannot confirm or deny an investigation, and we don't do that for anybody, not just in this instance." So according to CNN, the newly unearthed footage, which lasts 42 minutes and 45 seconds, is very clear and very explicit. So they say there are 2 scenes on the video, one apparently in a living room and the other in a bedroom. A naked man who appears to be R. Kelly is seen performing multiple sex acts with the girl. She is heard calling him, quote, daddy multiple times, and it is impossible to know her age just from the video. They both refer to her, quote, 14-year-old P-word. 6 times, the girl refers to her genitalia as 14 years old. Now, that's creepy within itself that you sitting there saying stuff like that. But anyway, it gets even grosser. So at one point, the man asks the girl to urinate. And after she does, he urinates on her. What is the fascination with peeing on people and peeing during sex? And how do you pee like during the sex? I'm just not understanding this. So what is on the video mirrors some of the alleged acts for which Kelly was arrested for child pornography in 2002 when he was 35 years old, and then acquitted 6 years later in 2008. That case centered on another video involving a man having sex with a girl who prosecutors said was as young as 13 years old. And so in the new video reviewed by CNN, a small mole can be seen on the man's back just to the left of his spine. Now, in Avenetti's statement, he refers to the video as a VHS tape and says that he believes that it is within the statute of limitations for child sexual assault claims in Chicago. And then Avenetti told Huffington Post that the tape was recorded in Chicago in the late 1990s when Kelly would have been in his late 20s or early 30s. So I looked up, what the statute is and learned that on August 11, 2017, Illinois Governor Bruce Rauner signed a new law eliminating the statute of limitations for felony sexual assault and sexual abuse crime against children. This law went into effect immediately, and officials praised the law, stating that it will make it easier to prosecute these crimes. So changes under the new law include, so prior to the passage of this law, Illinois statutes require sexual offenses against children to be reported and prosecuted within 20 years of the child's 18th birthday. The new law eliminates that statute of limitations altogether, and it applies to any future crimes or existing crimes for which the statute of limitations has not yet expired. So some advocates, however, do not believe the law goes far enough since its protections are not retroactive. So this means that victims who are currently over the age of 38 who have not reported crimes against them are unable to prosecute their abusers. So basically, if the person in the video was to come forward and say it was her and that she is currently over 38, he can't be charged. But then I was trying to think, the legal age of consent in Chicago is 17. So is that included in this law, in this statute? Or is that something totally separate? I'm thinking it must be included because in the last video where they acquitted him, seemed like if that applied, then, or it was separate, that they would have been able to get him on statutory rape, either way, because he was having sex with a minor, unless, well, they couldn't find out how old he was. I don't know. But anyway, that's what the law says. So also I find it interesting that all of the R. Kelly drama and the whole docuseries and no new real victims have come forward, and neither has the girl from the first video. So it'll be interesting to see if the girl in this video, since Avenatti says that he told the police who she is, that they're able to identify her, they have witnesses who say it's her, what happens when they go and find her and talk to her? Like, if she is going to cooperate, is she not going to cooperate? If she doesn't cooperate, what happens? Like, this is going to be real interesting to see how all of this turns out. And for those of you who don't know who Michael Avenatti is, he also represented Stormy Daniels, the stripper and porn star who claimed that Donald Trump paid her $130,000 during his election campaign to stay quiet about their affair. And then that story, I think the court ruled that she didn't have a case, and so she kind of like went away. We hear no more from Stormy Daniels, even though Michael Cohen, who's Donald Trump's attorney, is about to go to jail behind all of this. And then Avenatti also represented this woman, I can't remember her name, but she came forth and stated that she witnessed the then nominee, now Supreme Court Justice Brett Kavanaugh, being drunk at high school parties and playing a role in guys running trains on high school girls. But then when the FBI did their investigation, they didn't include her in the investigation, I guess because they were like, this don't make no sense because you were of college age. Why were you even at a high school party? And they probably just didn't believe her. And so after, you know, Kavanaugh was got the nomination and was seated on the court, then she disappeared. We hear nothing else about her. So that might be the reason why people are kind of hesitant to like jump on this story and, you know, get to talking about it on social media, because he's that attorney. And then also just yesterday, Avenatti agreed to give up financial control of his law firm to settle a dispute with a former partner who claimed that the celebrity lawyer hid millions in order to fund his lavish lifestyle and avoid having to pay a $10 million judgment. So I think his timing on sending this story to CNN probably had a lot to do with trying to silence the news story about him and his law firm, and how, you know, he done had to give up control of his own law firm. So guys, let me know, is R. Kelly's house of cards about to come tumbling down on him? Will he escape this on some technicality like he did the last time? Do you think that there are more videos that they just are waiting to see what happens with this case, and then they'll come forth with the rest of the videos? How can one person be so stupid is my question. Like, because first of all, it's bad enough you're having sex with underage girls. Then you're going to be dumb enough to record the videos and then leave them somewhere where somebody else can get the videos. And then on top of all that, you're going to have the girl admitting her age in the video. Like, come on, dude, can you really be that stupid? Or have these videos been doctored and manufactured to try and make it look like there's just no way he's going to be able to escape this time? Leave your comments below and let me know what you think about all this. Rate the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. And until the next time, I shall talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.